Welcome everybody. We are in session number 10 today, and session number 10 is about testing web applications. And before we start looking at certain details of that, I have to say a couple of words about importance of web applications and the dynamics of that importance. We first moved from Windows, testing Windows applications to testing web applications somewhere in, I would say 96, maybe late 95. But it was kind of rare yet. But in between 96 and maybe year 2000, we've got many web applications around. So it was growing fast. And eventually, it's very rare now to test Windows applications, but it became much more common to test web-based applications until the time of mobile applications came. And if you look at our school, for example, 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, 20% of our graduates would be hired to test mobile applications, and today we are looking at 80%. It doesn't mean the entire industry is represented by those numbers. So definitely there are lots of companies testing web applications, and the trend is whoever has web application now is trying to come up with decent mobile applications. So there is a term native mobile applications. Native mobile application is developed to run on mobile devices. If it is not native, it means you can run browser on your smartphone, and inside the browser you can run any web application you like. But if you compare, for example, Skype in your Windows, or whichever version of Windows you have, let's say Windows 7, with Skype on your mobile phone, which is the native application, so then you see different applications. Because there are certain specifics in how people work with mobile devices, and then they develop mobile applications to run on those devices. On the other hand, when we have mobile applications, so companies created just to produce some mobile applications. So those companies still have certain web exposure. So they do have website. I mean, they have to. They have no chance to have no website. Number one. Number two, they also it's not just like business card, web page or website. They do lots of work there. So they do technical support using the website. They collect data about customers. They register for newsletters, and they provide surveys and God knows what. So in today's world, we do not have mobile applications killing the web applications. We have mobile applications and web applications working together. So there is certain synergy in that. And so that is what we are seeing right now. So let's take a look at web applications. So I hope you watched the pre-recorded webinar. And today I will start with showing you certain resources. If we go to the video page, portnow.com/video, I hope you know that page. We teach 40 hours long web applications testing class here on premises, but it is not that much. I mean, not 100% of that is of interest to you. So it includes certain utilization of Perl and shell scripting and certain tools. So it's kind of sophisticated class. You do not want that. What you have instead, you have just the first lecture. I intentionally cut the rest of it, so you have just the first lecture of that class. So first, let's say 10% of the class. And in this 10%, you are getting 90% of what you have to know about web applications and web architecture. And I mean, literally, if you can deal with what that one lecture tells you, and that one lecture, guys, is 3 hours. It's not like 30 minutes, it's 3 hours. So if you can handle that, if you can learn that, if you can master that, means you are likely to spend more than 3 hours. Then you are going to be real good when it comes to web applications. One more to the interview. One more thing I want to show you. It is on YouTube, and on YouTube we have a channel called Portnoy School, which is our English level language channel. We have one in Russian, we have one in English, so that is English level channel. And I just did recently, a week ago, that small video talking to our former graduate, and she is a manager now. She came to interview a couple of interns, so I just made the video with her. But if you scroll down a little bit here, you will see a few more videos which are important in your case. You can see 4. 1, the fiddler, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those 4 pieces are also coming out of the web testing class. But they are small pieces. So fiddler is 15 minutes, ping is 10 minutes. Software testing tutorial for beginners. It talks about test automation and computer-assisted testing. It's very interesting. And then JMeter. So JMeter is a load testing tool, very popular load testing tool. So those 4 pieces together might take, I believe, about 1 hour of your time, but they are worth it. So that is all you have available in videos when it comes to web applications testing. So that is something I wanted to show you. Then there is one more thing, and I will tell you how that thing came to life. So we go to portnoy.com/web testing. Web testing. Look at that. So we had a teacher here who was teaching software quality assurance, I'm not sure, 5, maybe 6 years ago. And she is a brilliant lady, and she is a QA manager for a company which does radio broadcasting over the internet. So basically, if you want to create your own radio station, you take their product and you have your own radio station on the web. And so she started, she pioneered the software, the web testing class in our school. And I just want to show you that page because it has some of her resources. It is sitting on our website, but so first of all, let me see. It says web lecture labs. That one, web lecture lab. That is her blogspot, blogspot resource. Okay, and this is the teacher actually. This is the teacher, Lana. So very cute, nice looking one. So look at the lab. Okay. Oh. Okay, labs. Then we have just a second. Where is that? We have one more blogspot resource she did. Okay, that one. Web lecture. No. Oh. Web lecture. No, it's a different. Web test. Let me see. Yes, I'm sorry. That one. Web test bugs. So, and she goes like lecture by lecture with different resources here, and actually you can click on it and see more. But the links on the right, guys. Look at the links on the right. The girl is an absolute champion of different tools. And she comes with examples and tools and whatever you can see here on the right. So if you have enough time to actually look at that, so you will be surprised. Besides, she has very, how to say, detailed slides, or let's say lecture plan. So it has lots of pictures here, okay, and some explanations here. So if you really spend some time, guys, going through, so you will learn a lot. You might also go to Wikipedia maybe to learn more about this and that. And it all comes with pictures. It's not empty, okay. So she explains lots of critically important things. In today's world, being real good at web application testing is not as critical as it was, at that time, because now we still have mobile to focus on. But here is the resource, and I want you to understand you do have that resource. So you know where it is. I did show you where it is. So now you have pieces of code, JavaScript, so something to work with. Okay, let me exit that one. Teacher's notes, same thing. And she talks about the most important things to look at the end of the notes. So here is the resource to look at. Okay, what's next? Next, we have to go back to the definition of gray box testing. Why we look at the definition of gray box testing? Because is it the one? Yeah, data QA. Maybe here. Because most of the web application testing, yes, it's here. Most of the web application testing is under gray box testing. So definitely there is some black box testing to be done, and there is some white box testing to be done, but then most of the time spent on testing web applications, as many people suggest, not everybody, is gray box testing, which is using structural, design, and environment information, complete or incomplete, to expand or focus black box testing, to enhance testing productivity by using appropriate methods and tools. So we go beyond graphic user interface. We do not go exactly to the source code, but we look at something which is in between source code and graphic user interface. To look at that, we go to your class page, and here is the picture, web application architecture. It's right here. So let's go there. Let's go there. And probably we looked at that picture before, when I explained the meaning of gray box testing, but that is the picture. And what we have client side on the left here. It says client side, and client side could be web application. Web application running in a browser, and browser is running on a personal computer here. Or it could be, the client side could be web application running on the browser, which inside the browser, which is by itself running inside of the mobile device. So it is not native mobile application. So it is a browser, and inside the browser we can access the application. So the only difference between top client-side picture and bottom client-side picture is where the browser is running. Either it is running on PC or it is running on mobile device. So the rest is the same. Now, that picture is cool because it explains the meaning of many terms you might see, but you do not understand maybe what those terms are about. For example, it says browser. Browser could be Internet Explorer, certain versions change. Opera is another browser. Mozilla Firefox is another browser. Google Chrome, Safari. Those are most common browsers in the world, and it says browse. So you see, the arrow shows you, so we are talking about browsers here. Operating systems. What could be operating systems on client side? Well, Windows XP 7, Vista, on Unix operating systems, flavors of Unix, Ubuntu, Red Hat, Linux. Then we have Macintosh, different versions of Macintosh. Those are operating systems for client. Then if you look at mobile platform, then you have what? Operating systems are Symbian, Windows Mobile from Microsoft, Windows Phone, same, Android, iPhone, RIM, BlackBerry. So then, what are the devices? iPhone, iPad, Nokia, Motorola, BlackBerry. Nokia is a manufacturer for different. Okay, I don't want to go into that because you talked to, you listened to Yvette, so she did much better job in that. And when it says web application interface, coming from both client sides, so we deal with HTML, JavaScript, CSS, Flash, Ajax, ActiveX, things which are used to produce the web page. So the result of you seeing that web page, but behind that you will see the HTML and JavaScript and CSS and different technologies implemented to create the web pages. Okay. Now, so you have, let's say you have your computer. Inside of your computer you have operating system, let's say Windows 7. Inside Windows 7 you have web browser. I'm using right now the Chrome. And inside the browser I see the application. Which application? Let's say Amazon.com, whatever. So we will practice with Amazon.com a little bit. Then when I go to, okay, let's go to Amazon. Let me do that for you. So I go to Amazon.com. So when I hit enter, then what happens? Within a couple of seconds, I'm getting something on my screen. So I see pictures and menus and lots of things here, advertisement. What actually happened here? Okay. What happened when I push the enter button on my keyboard, okay, some information goes to what is called web server. So web server basically is a storage. It's a computer which keeps files. So there is some, see it says server side, the yellow part, it says server side. What do we have? We have web server, which is a computer running a certain operating system, and it gives you typical web server applications, so like internet, so server from Microsoft, Apache, Glassfish, so different. So there is some software installed there to run the server, and then server basically is a storage. So when I say enter, push the enter button on my keyboard, what happens? That link, which goes from left to right, that link is the HTTP request going to the web server. And if you go down here, it says protocol, HTTP, HTTPS, secured HTTP, SMTP, FTP, different protocols in different places. But here we send HTTP request to web server. Then we get HTTP response going back to the web browser. And that communication, the HTTP requests and responses, it could be controlled by you if you use a special tool. Let me go there. There is a tool called Fiddler, and we have a video on Fiddler, 15-minute video on Fiddler, which I strongly recommend you to watch because you want to have Fiddler in your resume. So let's say Fiddler. Fiddler. Not Fiddler on the Roof. Okay, Fiddler on the Roof is a movie. Just Fiddler. And it says Fiddler Web Debugger, a free web debugging tool. You just install it, it's free. When you install Fiddler, what happens now, you can intercept requests and responses. For example, if you hit the enter button, before the request goes to the web server, you will see the request. You will see the entire HTTP thing in front of you. And you can actually modify it on the fly. If you know how to do HTTP, if you know the protocol, you can modify it right there. And you can send it modified. And then when it comes, the response comes from web server, you can, it will not go to the application until you approve it, or maybe you want to modify it. So you just get it like a soldier, you know, like a security guy. You look at that and you control what goes to which, into which direction. So it allows you to work with requests and responses. And you understand that that thing is kind of programmed. Somehow it is programmed, so you can find problems in how it is programmed. That is the point. Okay, that is why Fiddler is important. Fiddler can do many other things. That is why you really want to watch the video, and that is why you want to practice yourself with whichever website you want to look at. Specifically, I would suggest you to look at the website of the project you test. So because they do have the website. So let's see how it happens right there. So you can talk about it later on, your experience thing. Okay. So we keep looking at the server side. There is a term. Let me maybe type for you. Okay. Okay, let me type for you. 3-tier architecture. So we have three pieces there. We have web server, we have application server, and we also have database server. Here are the three tiers. Okay. Now, you can technically, you can use one computer, and that one computer will keep the files, it will keep the logic, the application which does the logical part, and it might keep the database right there. And some people go that way. So one-tier applications exist. Two-tier applications exist, and three-tier applications are very much common, because what happens, let's say you come with Amazon.com, and when you come with Amazon.com first, you have maybe, I don't know, 100,000 customers. But eventually it becomes 10 million, then it becomes 50 million, and you say, listen guys, the database is not good anymore. We need more powerful database. What do? We just replace the database server, and the rest is going to stay the same. So server side is the same, web server is the same. We just substitute the database we have with the more powerful database. Or we can do same thing with application. We can write new application, and we keep web server and database server. So if we keep everything on one computer, then whatever we want to change will impact other things which might not be, which shouldn't be changed actually, so, and you still have to change them. It gives much more flexibility to the people who are responsible for maintenance and further development of the website. So, what are the operating systems of web server? You can see it here. Windows Server 2003-2008. If you ever see 2008, Windows 2008, what the hell is 2008? Do you know anybody with 2008 installed? No. It is a server operating system. It could be Red Hat from Linux. It could be Ubuntu. It could be other things. FreeBSD, Sun Solaris, AIX, lots of Unix-based operating systems. So Unix is used a lot specifically because it costs no money and because it is much faster than Windows. So that is why. Now, so look at the application. It has certain layers there. I mean, all the applications have certain layers, but what is the job of the application server? So far, we didn't need it. We just typed Amazon.com into the URL field here, and then we see the application. But now, let's say I go to that application and I type Crystal. Oh, I'm sorry. Crystal, guys, no? What's wrong with Crystal? Okay, no H. Okay, Crystal Chandelier. Crystal Chandelier. Guys, after I select Crystal Chandelier, please pay attention how much time will how much time it will take to display what it should display. 1, 2, 3, go. Done. So it was pretty much like maybe 5 seconds. And it says showing 1/16 out of 54,000. Imagine I want to display more than 16s on one page. Can I change it right here? No? Not on that one. Because if I say, okay, let's display 1,000 on one page, then it will take lots of time. Then we will run into problems with performance testing. Performance. And so part of what we are doing here is performance testing. We are making sure it works fast. Performance is about things done reasonably fast. We will talk in greater detail about different types of testing, and we will definitely talk about load testing and performance testing and stress testing. But so far, we are saying, okay, performance was okay here, specifically because images are small. How big is the image? Let's say, can I see properties? No? Save link, copy. I don't know the prop. Okay, it's okay. So the images are small. It's maybe 3, 4, 5 kilobytes. So if the image is real good, so then it becomes a problem. Inspect, open, copy. What if I say inspect? No, it's different. Okay, it's okay. So one of the ways they control performance is by size of the image, number 1, and how many images we have on the page, number 2. So what happened? So you can see the search results. You can see all 16 chandeliers. Okay, going back. So what happens when you type something into the search field, and then you say enter, and then it goes to the web server, and web server has no idea what to do, and it goes to applications server. And application server looks at your search string, and it says, aha, let's search the database. So to do that, the application goes to the, it creates a SQL statement, the query. So request for data. So it goes to the database. Here it says DB API. So it goes to the database and it says, guys, here is the query, give me the results. And the results go back to the application. And then application will transform the data, organize the data into HTML and JavaScript readable file. It doesn't save anything as a file. It sends the data back to the computer. And that code generated by the application, that code is being stored in the cache of the computer. If I clean up cache, it's not there anymore. So why do we need cache? So we save time. Anytime we go to that page again, so it is in your cache. You don't have to download anything from the website. That is why. So that specific page, and what I can do, I can say view page source here, and it gives me the page source. See, here is the source of that page. And that source, that HTML and JavaScript and whatever is involved code is generated by the web server. And it is given to me to stay in the cache of my computer and to be visualized by the browser. Okay. Going back to the structure. So now, in terms of gray box testing, so the definition, let's go back to the definition. The definition was saying using structural, design, and environment information, complete or incomplete. So we just looked at structural information. To expand or focus black box testing and to enhance testing productivity by using appropriate methods and tools. So what exactly can we use? So we can use Fiddler to go beyond the graphic user interface and look closer at the communication in between browser and web server. So that is something which allows you to go beyond the GUI. Also, each and every server, web server, an application server, and database server, they generate log files. They generate log files. So we are saying gray box testing. So what do? We work with protocols, and then we have Fiddler. We work with log files generated by all the servers generated by servers. So which tools would we normally use? We would normally use Perl or Unix shell to write, or C# maybe, C#, whatever programming language. So we can parse the log files. For example, let's say I go and purchase a book. As a result of me purchasing that book, so there are going to be certain records created in all three log files. So what I do, I finalize my transaction, purchasing of the book, and then I go to the log files and make sure all the components which are necessary are there. So I can do it just by opening the file and using just simple find function. But what I can also do, I can use Perl or Shell or C# to write a piece of code, batch file, which will parse the log file for me and bring the related text to my attention. It will make sure the text is found, or maybe not found. So it is kind of automation of the testing. So that is much better than doing it manually. So that is all gray box testing. What else I can do? I can look at the database. Imagine we just purchased something. As a result of us purchasing something, there is a record in the database for that transaction. So let's go to the database and open that specific record and look what's in there. What if some information is missing? What if some information is, not completely represented there? And what if I register a new user on Amazon, and then I can go again to the database and see what kind of data is there? Is it exactly the data we expect? So there are lots of database tools, and I'm not even giving you one specific one because it depends on what kind of database you are using and what your company is about. They will give you a tool. It's not a big deal. There are plenty of database tools, and you have to understand that databases are very elaborated area, of IT. And if you think about information technologies as a big picture thing, the entire information technology is about two things. It's about data and how to access that data. So databases and networks. The whole thing on a large scale is databases and networks. So the rest is very minor to that. It's how we keep the data, how we access the data, and so on. Wireless, cable, this and that, security, it's all part of it. Okay. Okay. So that is pretty much what we have to know. And let me type here. So database records. Yeah, database records. And then we have database tools. Okay. That is what we have to know about gray box testing. Good. I think I can probably exit, but let's keep it there so far. Guys, let me ask you, so far, do we have any questions in the class? Hello? No? Nobody's saying anything? No? No questions. Okay. But is it clear what I'm telling you? I mean, nothing? Okay, challenging yet. Okay. I'm trying to make it very, very simple. So then we will talk a little bit about an article I keep for you. So guys, we go to the data page. So portnow.com/data. You know how to get there. And on that page, we keep an article for you. It says, where is my article here? Testing your website. Yes, okay. Testing your website. And that article is relatively old. It was written maybe 10 years ago or close to that. Let's go. And the reason I have it is because it was written during the time when all of us were moving from testing Windows applications into testing web applications. So, and it was summarizing the most critical issues. And since then, web applications became much more sophisticated. But fundamentals are still there. So I think I was kind of smart when I saved that article, because there was a magazine. They published a magazine twice a year, and I liked that article, so I saved it, and now we can still look at it. So we go, okay. So guys, we have a discussion there, like what are the database tools, and people say MySQL. MySQL is not a tool. MySQL is a database. Toad is a tool. Let me write that. I didn't want to go into tools because let's say Toad, for example, because each database comes with its own tools. Microsoft SQL Server, and okay, let me go back to that picture. If you look at that list of databases, we have Oracle. So Toad is an Oracle database tool. So Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL is another, Postgres, Firebird, DB2 is a mainframe application, Microsoft Access, they all have their own tools. So I just don't want to go into that because it will be very much, yes, PHP, MyAdmin, yes. So we've got some tools. Guys, you have to understand the big picture. It's not like you. I really want you to go into those tools. No, not really. So let's take a look at that. 10, 11, 12 years ago, we had probably more browsers than we have today. So we did have American Online browser. We did have hardware implementation of a browser. There was a device called Web TV. So Microsoft purchased the company called Web TV. They were producing some device, and device looks like a keyboard. But inside of that keyboard, there was a processor. And the idea of that was, so you can go to internet without purchasing your computer. You plug that keyboard into your TV set at home, and you plug your computer into phone line, and then it's kind of your computer now. But the browser was hard-coded into the chip. And the chip was in that device. So we had that one, and what else? We had Netscape. I mean, I think Netscape exists even today, but nobody is using Netscape, and that time it was very important one. So it starts first with browser compatibility and operating system compatibility testing, and I can tell you guys, in today's world, browser compatibility and operating compatibility, system compatibility testing is much more challenging than 10 years ago. The reason for that is, at that time, companies producing browsers did pay attention to their browser working like other browsers. So they wanted people, users, to have similar experiences working with different browsers. Now they don't care. They say, listen, my browser is different. You don't want my browser, use somebody else's browser. But our browser is not going to be like other browsers. So they have their own concept. And browsers are much, much, much more sophisticated today as software applications, because the job of a browser is to interpret the code. If all we have is HTML, it's one story. If we have HTML and JavaScript, it's another story. And then HTML3 becomes HTML4, becomes HTML5, which are more and more and more sophisticated things. Then it starts supporting widgets. It starts supporting different things which are coming, each and every year. And if you take a browser which is 10 years old and you try to look at today's world web page, you will be surprised, guys. It's not capable of doing that. It's simply not capable. I am using, one of my computers is still running Windows XP. And I used to use Microsoft Internet Explorer on that under XP, but I stopped doing that at some point because they didn't update Microsoft Internet Explorer. And so there is no update for Windows XP, and I literally cannot see much because applications become different, and the browser does not support them, and that is the end of story. And if you look at overall usage of browsers, so which browsers are used, Microsoft Internet Explorer used to be like 70%, a couple of years ago, and now it's almost nothing. It goes to dust. Why? Because it has to be good enough, not just convenient, but it has to be good enough in terms of functionality, showing different things better than probably other browsers. So when we develop web page or website with lots of pages, we are thinking, okay, whichever browser people have, we still want them to see our website correctly. Guys, I would ask you to stop, talking about things which are not related to the class. You're distracting others. So now we still want everybody to be able to see it, and then we come with test matrix. Test matrix. So what is that test matrix about? Maybe I have to run a spreadsheet on my system. Let's see if I have a spreadsheet here. I should. Microsoft, no. Okay, I will find something here. Microsoft Office spreadsheet. Okay, definitely spreadsheet. Is better for matrices. So, and I'm saying here, let's say Windows XP, and my next one is going to be, so I have horizontally I have operating systems, Windows XP, then I'm saying Windows Vista, and then I'm saying Windows 7 maybe, and then I have Mac OS 10. And then I might have other things as well. So I might say, give me Linux, whatever version, and so on. And then I have browsers. So what are my browsers? Let's say Firefox, whatever, 3.6. Then I have Microsoft Internet Explorer 9.0. Then I have Chrome, whatever version of Chrome, I don't know yet. And then I will say, okay, do I want to test Firefox 3.6 under Windows XP? Let's say yes. Okay, here is my spreadsheet, my test matrix. Windows Vista, yes. Windows 7, let's say no. Macintosh, definitely no, not applicable. So let's say not applicable, and then under Linux, let's say not applicable. How do I know which browsers are good and which browsers are not good? So what to use, what not to use? Let's do it this way. Let's go to stat counter. In reality, the company which gives you the hosting, that company provides you with statistics on whatever is related to your website. Alternatively, you can use services like, let's say, Google Analytics. I used to use that stat counter service. So let me try if I can log in. Let me see. Yeah, I can log in. And I have two websites there. And one is my former insurance agency, which I'm not using. And then certain pages of the Portnoy Computer School, certain pages are having that counter. Let's go there. Let's go to Portnoy Computer School counter. And the last 7 days. Let's do last 30 days. Okay. Last 30 days, no? Update, okay. Last 30 days. And that application gives me statistics on what happened in terms of visits to my website. For example, on the left-hand side, I have here browsers. Let's take a look at the browsers. So we have Firefox 20.0. So we have 2%. 19th, 28%, then few smaller things, and then 15th, 5%. So I might say I will test under Firefox 15th, 19th, and 20. Okay, so then I go to my spreadsheet and I'm saying, okay, Firefox, let's say 15th, Firefox 18th, whatever, and then Firefox 20. Okay, keep going. Then I have Chrome. Chrome 26, okay, is almost 19%, and Chrome 25. So let's say I want Chrome 25, 26. What about this one? 24, 1%. Maybe yes, maybe no, I'm not sure. Let's say 25 and 26. It's not about me, guys, deciding. Chrome 25, and then Chrome. It is about my management making those decisions, guys. You have to understand that. So it is not normally, it's not your job to decide which ones. It's a business decision. I'm just trying to show you how they make that decision. Internet Explorer. So altogether we have 18%. 18%, which is not that bad. I mean, overall in the industry it's much worse than that. We have Explorer 10, 4%, Explorer 9, 12%. Okay, Explorer 7, well, I don't know. So not some people, Opera 3, whatever. So here's how they do it. What about operating systems? I'm going to another one, system statistics here. System statistics. So first it shows me resolution. Why I care about resolution? Because sometimes, especially when we talk about usability and sometimes graphic user interface, you want to set your computer to the resolution which most of the people use, number one. Number two, if you really care about resolution, you might try 2-3 major resolutions and see what you can do there. So 49% goes to 1280 by 800, and then 1366. So that range, 1280, 1366. So we have close to half of the users. And what is the next larger group? The next larger group is this one, 1920 but 1080, and then 1920 by 1200. So we don't care about resolution at that point, but we might care about resolution if your website is specifically about nice graphics, this and that, so then it's important. When it comes to operating systems, we have dominating everybody else, Windows 7. Then we have Mac with 12%, then Windows 8, which is mobile operating system, guys. You have to understand. It is mobile operating system. And then, which is not bad at all. Okay, then we have Windows Vista, mobile, we don't know which mobile. Oh, Android, and then iOS. Android and iOS. Okay, Windows XP. So in my specific situation, people who are using Windows 8, we have more people like that than we have Android and iOS people together, you know. Very interesting. So iOS, iPad a little bit, Linux a little bit. So I can use Windows 7 for sure. I want Mac for sure. And Vista for sure. 7, Mac, and Vista. Okay. 7, Mac, Vista. So XP, we don't need XP. Let's say Windows 8. Okay, maybe. Windows 8. So that is pretty much where we are. Vista 7, not much of Linux. So that one is called test matrix. So where we specify which operating systems and which browsers we are using here. Now, when it comes to mobile devices, guys, mobile applications, it becomes much more sophisticated because now it is not just about devices, it's about manufacturers as well. I mean, we have many devices. We have to test on different devices running Android, for example. And if you go to any company which develops and tests mobile devices, you will be amazed with boxes of cell phones, of all the different manufacturing boxes, big boxes with maybe hundreds of devices in there, many tens of devices. Okay. So that is how they do that. And my suggestion is read the article, guys. It is a very cool article. I mean, definitely certain things are obsolete, but it's not, more or less it is okay. Just one thing here, which is navigation testing, I want to mention before we say bye to each other. Navigation testing is important, and it comes with understanding of what is called dynamic pages. Let me say dynamic pages. Look at that. We go back to the Amazon. Okay. So that page is a result of the search. That page does not exist as a file. So what you have here, that URL, so it shows how it was generated. Crystal plus chandelier, blah, blah, blah. So it is not existing as a file. When I say back, it comes to the home page, which exists as a file. So I can go forward and I can go back in my browser. Okay. And what happens when what I just did using back and forward buttons, that is navigation. I navigate through. Imagine I say, okay, here, let's say I say crystal chandelier, and then I put it in my shopping cart. Where is my shopping cart here? I don't know. How do I put it in my shopping cart? In stock, chandelier. Add to cart. Okay, now it is in my cart. Now I can do back. 1 step back, 2 steps back, 3 steps back. Let's go forward. 1 step forward, 2nd step forward, 3rd step forward. What happens, guys? All the pages are, we call them dynamic pages. They are not existing as files. They are existing in the cache of my computer. They are dynamically created. So if I exit Amazon, those pages do not exist anymore. So my application is supposed to clean up the cache. But imagine I put it in my cart, and I say proceed to checkout, and then I log in, and then I start going from screen to screen to screen, providing my credit card account, my home address, my shipping address, my payment, billing address, and all that stuff. And then I want to go back and change something. So the rule of navigation testing. So as a result of dynamic pages being there, we are doing navigation testing. So the purpose of navigation testing is at some point user shouldn't be able to go back. See, let's say you purchase something and then you say, no, let's backspace. And it should come and tell you the page does not exist. It should erase the whole thing. That is the correct functionality. If you can really go back after a certain point, it's a problem to be fixed. Okay? You shouldn't be able to do that. But sometimes you are inside the transaction and you expect that application to allow you to go back. I mean, same idea. Guys, imagine I just say backspace and it comes with the message saying the page doesn't exist. I would say, wait a second, how come it doesn't exist? Why would you destroy my page? I need it. So another problem with dynamic pages is you say backspace, I'm sorry, backspace, you say back, and the page is not there. So we have two appearances of the navigation testing problems. So appearance number one, So back results in error message. That is one way. And another way, user can go back after transaction was completed. That is what we call navigation testing. So you deal with dynamic pages. Dynamic pages have to be destroyed at certain point, not earlier than certain point, not later than certain point. Okay, they have to be destroyed at some point. And that is what you test when you do navigation testing. So guys, we are pretty much done. And so unless you have questions, and so I will be saying, I can move to creating the video. I have it on my HP. I would be under mobile. So guys, any questions so far? So far? No questions? Okay, so if you have no questions, let me just tell you something. I need your resumes. I need your resumes, existing resumes. It doesn't have to be related to QA. Whatever resumes, whatever experiences you have, guys, I need your resumes, so I start making your job market resumes. So you start looking for a job maybe in a week, or because I really want you to start the sooner the better, so I can control where you are when it comes to the job search. Anybody who wants to start job search next week? Maybe not this one, but next week. Yes. Okay, guys. So, and if you are not up to starting your job search where you live, let's start your job search somewhere else. Let's go to New York or other areas and practice. So let people call you and see how good you are. Okay, so guys, now instead of saying me, and me, okay, let's do it this way. You just go and send me your resume, and I will give you my email just in case. In case you don't have it, it's Mikhail@portnov.com. So, and when you send that resume, it would be very smart if you put something like online student resume. Online student resume. So I know what it is. Do we need email you QA resumes? No, email me the one you have. Don't make it QA. I will make it QA. Guys, just give me the real thing. I don't want you to do something you are not supposed to be doing. I want your real resume, and I will see what's in your previous background such that we can make it QA, even if you do not realize it's a QA related. So let me see. It does matter what you did long time back and this time. Guys, just give me the real thing. You just exclude yourself from business of judging what's good, what's not good, what is relevant, what is not relevant. As soon as you start judging, okay, you run into trouble because you deny me the opportunity to do something with your resume. Right now, I'm a homemaker. Say that. Okay, tell me what you did. Give me the dates. Guys, real means real. Okay, I mean, I don't know how to define real better, but I think you understand. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for listening, and I'm exiting the presentation and I'm making the file. Thank you.